Almost every student at Iowa State will take a class in the English department at some point. Many will pop in for basic composition and then head out to their chosen majors. But for those of us who call the English department our home, we know that it is so much more to offer than basic composition. Most unusual among its many offerings is the Everett Casey Nature Center and Reserve. Casey, as it's affectionately known, is a 76-acre natural space located 25 miles west of campus, just north of Ogden. The reserve was gifted to the English department by Everett Casey, a 1946 Iowa State engineering graduate, in 2008. His vision for Casey was to see it become a place where the MFA creative writing students could practice their craft alongside the unblemished Iowa landscape, giving us the opportunity to write creatively while deeply entrenched in the environment. Casey is essentially undeveloped. There is a 12-acre alfalfa field whose profits go toward funding student endeavors. There is also a small apiary whose honey production is shared through the department. 2 fire pits keep us warm when the weather turns, and Bluff Creek, a tributary of the Des Moines River, provides a backdrop of cheerful gurgling at all times. Casey is the ideal spot for a large number of activities: hiking, birding, bonfires, stargazing, campouts, and dog walks. Some instructors even bring classes up to Casey, so their students can enjoy its many benefits. Most importantly, though, Casey gives the creative writing and environment master's students the opportunity to sit amongst the trees and prairies and be inspired by the beauty that surrounds us. Today, we present to you a selection of work inspired by the gift given to us by Everett Casey all those years ago. Please enjoy. Sunrise Number 110 by Allison Justice. The youngly green leaves of the maple tree, innocent, have taken on a reddish tint. Here in this dawnlight and against the ice, the light frost that settled last night, we loiter in winter while it is already spring, Thoreau wrote, calling me out. Spring creeps in beneath our feet, slides in beneath, then acts as a lever to lift us. But here, Thoreau, winter won't be shaken so easily. Our senses are dulled, brains frozen for months, and just as we're thawing, a frost bites again. The world wants to go back to sleep. It won't. But waking, as birth or hemisphere wide, thaw and blossoming, is its own struggle, if not epic, then memorable. Your memorable crisis which all things proclaim. 6:21. The leaves are green against the bright orange rising sun, green against the ice.
A Walk at Casey Preserve, December 2020, by Jordan Dunn. The creek's hungry water, delete riparian root. An erosion of sediments flows downstream as I try to prepare my voice for the figurative wintered mint. I stitch the whorled calices of motherwort onto the page. Circled for extraction, I desire to write calices whirled, and then to say it aloud to my former self, his lost plurality in the footnoted settler's body. To encounter it, I travel stone by stone across the creek, a small song in my ear. The water flows around the stones. As the chickadee's Phoebe arrives in the valley, it doesn't discover itself through its song's reflection in the water, being now my own reflections crossing the tree's reflection. Insert from where the song confounds. As I whisper it inwardly and reflect the song in my body as I carry it forward, written in the margin adjacently, a chickadee isn't caught in the plat maps section grid, but slips through and loops back toward the legible sun. Lands ceded to United States. Article 1. The Confederated Tribes of Sacs and Foxes cede to the United States forever all the lands west of the Mississippi River to which they have any claim or title, or in which they have any interest whatever. The Desert is Thirsty for Me, I Know, by Kelsey Zimmerman. Sand suck, gritty dune domes. Nearby Joshua Tree has turned into a man. Grins, then limps off to some other heathen. I'd like to drink the sky. Lake Huron sky, the still creek in August sky, reflection on the water sky. Shortcut was a mistake. Sick sting of cacti gun, abscess ant tongue trial, swamp dry heave. Remember that ghost flight in Greece? Sky wraith, cloud mirage. Pilot ghosts at the controls, passenger ghosts merrily, merrily. It would be nice to go like that. 4:45 a.m. alarm, $40 Uber to the airport, flight attendants, Medusa slinky curls and yo-yo smile. To make myself small, shrink down the aisle into my seat, to nod off into the dark on the plane of a stranger's strong shoulder. Need some fallow thing from yesterday.
For the Beauty by Nancy Hayes. Of the prairie, of the ox eyes yellow rays trained on the haze-rimmed rising sun, of the sparse pink sprays of showy tick, whose leaves Japanese beetles nibbled down to lace beneath a blush rose glimmer. Of the prairie, blazing stars, pink-purple, fuzzy column, flaming cattail, sparkler in mid-sizzle, drama queen on spiky stalk. Of the yellow cornflower's evolution from gray seed head circled by pale points to dark brown cone with drooping golden petals ruffled languidly by summer breeze. Of the culver's roots small candelabras, lighting rabbits' leafy banquet tables. Of the white wild indigo's tall spires of full round blooms that broadcast brightness over late July evenings, dusty green. Of the big blue stems bolt in hot July, past oxeye, showy tick, past blazing star and yellow cornflower, culver's root, on upward, past proud, white wild indigo, to bob above its fellow flora, tickling wings of darting swift and swallow, tickling souls to sing this song. This is our hymn of grateful praise. Home Finding by Emily Golden. Walking, incline, sweat, slow, squeezing, breath. What is the significance of a hat? How long until I hang? Doorways in the woods preceding ever longer banquet halls under the not quite stars. Root constructed roadblocks, and pitfalls are a major pitfall. Searching for level in a sea of slant. What's the significance of a hat? How long until I get home? Flat. Finally. Inflorescence by Nancy Hayes. The late October sun spreads thick its golden light across our prairie grasses stalk by stalk. One last warm coat before the chill of night. No longer moist and green, no goldenrod in sight. The sallow stems sag toward us as we walk. The late October sun spreads thick its golden light. Yet we know with the paling, life's not faded quite. Before the rising shadows, no cause for us to balk. One last warm coat before the chill of night. Don't think for long that there is no respite. The bobbing feathered seed heads feed our talk. The late October sun spreads thick its golden light. Though leaves have curled, dry combs have lost their might, they still protect the prey coyotes stalk, their rustling signals rabbits to take flight. Last rays swab blue stems, inflorescent bright. With strokes of liquid gold we cease to talk. The late October sun spreads thin its golden light, one last warm coat before the chill of night. Tactics for Depression, Quick Reference by Allison Justice. 1. Welcome waves of whatever, as water powered by ocean crash, let breakers scour inside of the back of the skull and whole brain, even savor relish rush, scour rush rinse, gasp sigh release breathe, watch the waves pool and eddy at your bare feet. 2. Let wind rush through the forest that grows inside your chest, deciduous branches, best for wind rushing through, given the way the branches branch. So let the wind enliven you inside any breeze, will do any gust, let it shiver every branch, the treetops, tossing, tossing, tossing alive. 3. Reverse each mind-blunting violence with visions of sturdy, deliberate blossom peony from heart or hibiscus. Picture it, daisies from wrists, even dandelions. Imagine, roses from guts, sunflower from crown lily, from throat pansies, from the tiny soft spots just behind the ears, petunias from temple, irises, from eyes, now flower, bloom, 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 drink, water, breathe, keep walking. All Hollows by Natalie Deem. Wind chases wind. Bones chew bone. Water washes water. In the receding green, bones emerge on high and low. Sun stretch. Chill descends and limbs knock and shiver. The wind goes where it wants to. Slick sucks and whistles through the raccoon skull plucked from the creek. Its sockets stare with wild abandon. All beings wide-eyed in death. Cavities reopened for the world to round in. The sky presses down through disarticulated bodies. Fleeing leaves reveal the ribs of once dear hugging dirt lungs. The soil swells with each breath of rain. Rodents cut their teeth on teeth. Moss creeps into exposed marrow. Every bone a straw anew. Every skull a sieve. Nature rewrites itself in hollows. Trees suck the white scabs of derecho scars, still reaching for lost balance. The mass of that destruction has long since been blown away. And yet, the scrape of it remains in the circle sweep of hinging grass on sand. The lightness of the writing catches my breath, reminds me to resensitize to the scratch of a leaf, the spin of wind, the compass of root-bound beings. Sunrise number 94 by Allison Justice. Mist hung over hill and field, a round scoop of orange juice concentrate rose with healing in its wings, a shadow at the base of every blade of grass.
Dirt, Dust, Din by Aja Lyons. Mud, sticks, and stones, the bare bones of life. Dirt which incubates growth, sticks sheltering the most micro of Earth's harvesting hands, stone measurements of pressure we extract. Stumbling through the rolling woods, not unlike the yellow sack spider stuck clawing out of its own trap, fumbling for food, unaware of the crumbling black, silty soil swallowing holes, parts and particles, roots worked in nets, systems breaking and holding the topsoil as bottoms work, absorbing, supporting, containing rainfall. Up in smoke, feel the heat, the flame ignited by life, crosses touched a speck of luck, dusted like the crops in the depths of a fertile crescent, ashes, dust. Sometimes ever and all is still never enough. Circling round bluffs, searching for chemical compositions to strike a desire, for fire to roll in places and spaces where seats are gathered round, far from town, to inhale, exhale, expel, munch, crunch, grunt, and escape in moments of make-believe. Buzzing and humming along, sights and songs of sweet dreams dripping like sweat down backs, honey down combs, beehives working week after week to make samples to treat something sweet we steal and eat as the dry weather winds carry soil, sand, and scents loose across countryside.
The Color of Prairie by Nancy Hayes. We watch for green, John and I, after the March burns black, for familiar leaves. We see forbs and grasses rise from ashes, observe habits of growth, know which surge in May, which hold back until August. We applaud blooms, golden Alexanders early, sawtooth sunflowers late. In between, with relative overlap, ox-eye sunflower, rattlesnake master, compass and cup plants, showy tick trefoil, lead plant, culver's root, white wild indigo, partridge pea, goldenrod. Each year its own panoply, but always mostly yellows, though plenty of pinks and purples, some whites, and one orange, butterfly milkweed. We note golds, bronzes, taupes, mauves of big and little blue stem, Indian grass, prairie dropseed, switchgrass. Breathless, we grasp the ephemerality of color, except green, we take for granted, until September. Wistful, we take in the general fade, the collective dry, yet even then in the mounds of blown-over grass, hints of former hues, palest yellows and blushes of red, glow under a coat of snow. Sunrise Number 4 by Allison Justice. The early morning thing is that the morning fire spread, heralding the skin's awareness of gravity upon waking dredges up with it nagging visions of another sky's reflection. In an old lake. I walked alone to the lake to reclaim my access. Such vastness would not remain beyond my reach. The river, however, would not be reclaimed. The soft stir of its waters on a still morning, perhaps. Maybe the rush of its rapids. Perhaps a short stretch of shore. For a time, maybe even the near straight shot path down to the wide bank. But the river I wanted has long since escaped.